for 12 years. So, and I was elected the same day, very young like you, and amazing. President Moi was a chairman. Then that time I think it was Professor Karanja was the vice president. Then we had Oloa Ringo elected chairman. The late Mudavadi. There was no Musali, there was no MD, my DVP, there was nowhere. And then Secretary General, and I was elected, can you believe? National Organizing Secretary, very young. And I went into politics now about 40 years, deliberately. So I'm sure you are aspiring to be leaders. How many of you are actually aspiring to be leaders? That's amazing. Therefore, I'll tell you one thing. It's good to aspire to be a leader. But if you're not clear from the day one, like starting this matter of the prayer, and then you get lack of conviction leading you. So simpler sense of resolve, but of course you must be guided also by why is it that you want to be a leader. But now we are standing at a different level, and yet Kenyans feeling very insecure. From IBC, I hope IBC does not restrict the new membership, the new electoral register to only 6 million extra. There must be more. And conditions must be made conducive for young Kenyans to register as voters. But before they do so, they have to get their national identity cards. This morning I even gathered that from our own constituency, young people are being asked to produce, before you're given an ID, you have to produce your birth certificate. And if you are newly married, your marriage certificate. And a lot of young people are not married that way. So already you're clogging the number, the registration process, and end up denying or disenfranchising so many Kenyans. Well, I hope you can find time at this forum to discuss some of those things. How are you going to, and I'm happy there's some young people from UDA and Fort Kenya now. I saw Ulysses, she's strongly in government, and she left me in Oka, along with my friend Weta, the speaker, my DVD, number one Kenya lands. So this witness is telling you, I've seen formations of coalition parties, because I think, to me, the future in terms of democratic practice in this country will have to recognize the need to form political coalitions. Because, truthfully say, we have leadership which belongs in tribal enclaves and things. People believing it is our time to eat, others have eaten, and some are saying we have eaten before, we must continue eating, that kind of thing, which ends up disenfranchising, like our marathon runners and our football team, which yesterday, the day before, redeemed the image by defeating Seychelles 5-1. Our spirits were lifted. Yeah. During my younger days as a member of parliament, I used to play soccer. Such a star player at number 9. Our goalkeeper was the late Bob Robert Oko. Right? I'm just telling you that you are going to be riding on the shoulders of men and women who started this thing rolling, called the nation state of Kenya. And they will tell you, leadership belongs to you. You are future leaders. The reality of a Gen Z revolution is that you are leaders today. I think you need to clap for yourself.
Yes, today. And this is the recognition of the fact that young Kenyans saying, please don't mess up our future anymore, decided to go to the streets in exercise of Article 37 of our country's constitution. Yes, sir. Oh, thank you. This guy is bringing me my talking notes. Clap for him. It's too late. It's too late. It must have been sent by Paloma Gatabaki. So after this, they'll be wondering, what did this party leader do? What did he say? Well, it's so in my mind because I'm supposed to give you that experience and to be able to bring you up to speed. I don't know how many of you will have watched my interview, a very long interview, on one of the leading podcasts, Ikoneni. How many of you watched that? Because if you did, then you will have taken, honestly, there are things I must have said there that you never heard of. Because we want to bring you up to speed. And so that you can take it up from there. We are not stones, we will not be there forever. I feel myself that my kind of generation has the responsibility to put this country together again, imbue in our, in the nationhood, in our nationhood, the spirit of constitutionalism. And then, and the rule of law, of course that is the rule of law, and then take it over from there, because I must at some stage enjoy the company of my grandchildren going forward. And so you guys have some work to do. But you're coming from various political formations. First of all, can you integrate and understand that you will differ politically, strongly, but at the end of the day, like lawyers of my profession, Cyprian is here and others, we argue in court. And argue, you think these people are enemies, but from there we go and have coffee together. That should be the spirit of our multi-party democracy. So that whether you are in UDA, in ODM, in Wiper Patriotic Front, of course, if I had the opportunity, looking at you here, I would do some serious engagement. Register all of you as Wiper Patriotic Front members, okay? And then give it over to you. Tell you, guys, take it. Patriotism. Remember, this is why Wiper Patriotic Front has to change and to rebrand. Because you have to take into account the feelings and the aspirations of the young Kenyans, the Gen Zs. They were armed with a bottle of water, their national flag, and their smartphones. And what did they get in return? They were killed, they were maimed. And that's why I ended up saying, wait a minute, oh, no, you're taking the joke too far. You cannot arrest young Kenyans who are exercising their constitutional freedoms under Article 37 and then charge them under the Prevention of Terrorism Act and take them near maximum prison in committee. That's where the anti-terrorism court is, next to it. And to put in you maximum fear that you will never again speak your mind, that you never will be living under fear that if you exercise your constitutional rights, you end up in committee. But young Kenyans are beyond that. In fact, they are so amazingly fixated with the idea of liberating their country that nobody, no amount of intimidation will deter them. And of course, they're also riding on the shoulders of younger legislators, people like Caleb Atemi here, Dan Maanzo and others, Babu Wino. I see Babu is supposed to be speaking. I don't know where he is. Edwin Sifuna. Fearless young leaders. And they are not even proclaiming which political parties they belong to. They are saying we are young Kenyan leaders. We want this country to be better than, and of course for some of us believe we must leave it better than we found it. So, our sponsors for this event, we remain ever grateful. Don't think these are fewer. These are very solid minds. And I was trying to see whether they are gender sensitive, because then I would declare the meeting unconstitutional. And I see they are. The mix is good. But I want to urge you then, you must resolve to remain vigilant, to be able to say no to corruption. Somebody told us this morning, now this thing about corruption has hit the glass ceiling, went beyond. It is now a way of life for Kenya. You must refuse that. Because how can corruption be a way of life in Kenya? There are things that must happen. Because if we say no to corruption in real time, we'll be able to give our young Kenyans free secondary education. There'll be no problem with capitation. It's the thieving, it's the thieving ability of our leadership that has astounded the nation and also astounded the region. At a time when we should be reaping from the youth budge, what the world has recognized as a youth budge. You do not have this big problem in Europe. Europe is getting older. But Africa is bouncing. Not even COVID. COVID could not decimate our populations. We are coming up. And these are young people. Some of them benefited from President Kibaki's program on free primary education. By the way, I was Kibaki's vice president. So a little credit should come my way. All right? I've seen it all. I was Minister for Environment. I was Minister for Tourism. I was a Deputy Speaker for a whole 5 years. I've seen it all. I've seen political treachery. I have seen people going to detention the wrong way. But we say, afadhali here at detention, somebody will come like this young man has brought me this paper, come and serve your document, you're going to detention. What is this thing called abduction? Abduction? Just to defeat the fact the Constitution outlawed detention without trial, then to beat that, you detain in Subarus, in the boots, and take young people everywhere, confuse them. Now, we must stand up. The time to stand up, young Kenyans, is now. From across the political divide. I must be honest with you, some of us watched it, we saw these excesses, and now, for whatever it means, I will stand where the people are and defend the Constitution properly. Properly. And I just wanted to pass this over to you, and while I suggest, Kidi, a structured inter-party dialogue involving the young Kenyans. Now, my friend Raila Odinga, whom I've had the honor to deputize 10 years, and then support him another 5 years unconditionally, hoping he was going to become the leader, because I thought Raila Odinga and I shared basic commitment to this country. Now my brother is on the other side. I'm left standing. And believe you me, I'll stand until there's real change in Kenya. Because one time, one of the leading papers, then get to Standard, put up a headline, "The Last Man Standing." The last man standing. Have you seen the paper saying the last man standing? I said, yes, somebody has to stand. Because if we all now say yes, sir, and get compromised beyond recognition, what happens to the future of this country? So we must dig in. And I'm here to tell you, dig in. Look at the values we have under Constitution 2010 and Article 10. Look at your rights. Also recognize we are not an island nation when it comes to the issue of human rights, for example. Human rights are universal, and we have imported all those UN resolutions under Article 20, 1920 of our Constitution. They have become part of our domestic law. So I'm just here to encourage you to stand strong. And believe you me, we'll be with you, whether or not you are Wiper Patriotic Front or Democratic Party or UDA, because I can tell you, a time is coming when Kenyans are going to say, wait. It cannot be any other way than change. The change that has eluded this nation is coming. So don't give up. Help is around the corner, and play your role. Play your role fearlessly and strongly. What Kenya needs is really not strong men anymore. Africa, strong men. Kenya needs strong institutions. We have the EACC, for example. Is it strong? Is it compromised? When William Ruto, the president, went to, before he left to the summit, Tokyo, Africa summit, in some place in Japan, he put together what he called a multitask agency to fight corruption. After telling members of parliament, you're all corrupt. And then members of parliament, I'm told they did not eat lunch at that KCB retreat. They all left. He said, man, how can you tell us corrupt? And it is you who sends this corruption money to get us to impeach your deputy president, to impeach whatever, and the numbers are known. How can you call us corrupt? So you can now see, yeah, you can give a dog a bad name and then kill it. It's a challenge to you then, members of parliament. What are you going to do to let Kenyans believe that you are still leaders and you have a little spine left in you? Now, if you're spineless, I tell you, the practice of Kenyans after every 5 years, they actually, over 80% of leaders, members of parliament and senate, go home. It looks to me that this time is going to be a clean sweep, because Kenyans want change, and you can't take it away from them. So I must conclude my remarks, because I was supposed to encourage you. Remember, strong institutions, not strong men and women. You are strong. And also a country needs strong young men and women. Because you see, you're stronger than I am. Believe you me, even if you see us dancing, yeah, hey, or something, to a sikuti or something, Caleb, if you go dancing Iskuti, you and me, I'm sure you leave me behind, because we must accept surrendering the things of youth as well. But please remember, we must combine wisdom with energy, with youthfulness, to be able to hold this country together. And then hand it over. Before you came in, Caleb, I said, we get this country back on track and hand it over to the next generation. That is a Gen Z revolution. And you know, you have inspired the world. Prime Minister of Bangladesh had to flee by helicopter to India. It has never been the same again. Sri Lanka. I think this is why the KK administration were afraid. They thought people were going to walk here and swim. I don't know, there's a swimming pool in State House, I don't know. But they were swimming in Sri Lanka. And yesterday, a Prime Minister of Nepal, you must have seen it. Again, the youth people inspired by the Gen Z revolution in Kenya. Kenyans, you must clap for yourselves, because this is really something. They say no, but don't worry, moderators, if they demonstrate sometimes intolerance and polarization. Because unless, again, we mold these young people together to be able to sit and discuss and agree, they're seeing the excesses. And how do you deal with excesses? Do you say, oh, let us sit and agree that Kenya is a multi-party democracy? It's already in the Constitution. Do we sit and say, let us fight corruption? The institutions are there. Or do you come out and throw them out? So the young people, that's the only thing. How do we manage their fury? Believe you me, even as we speak, the anger that was demonstrated on the 25th of June, 2025, when the young people demonstrated against high cost, high taxation. This country is the most overtaxed nation anywhere in the world. And they said no. And you overtax us and you steal from us as well. We'll say no. So before you sit and moderate them, allow them to vent their anger. That anger is still present in our country. And nobody can pretend that Kenyans are not angry. If you get people getting gangster type of execution, like happened to this advocate yesterday, you get people coming up with rungus, state-sponsored violence. I repeat, state-sponsored violence. And you tell them they can sit with you and discuss. Please, if you believe in multi-party democracy, which is in the Constitution, then you must tell those with instruments of power not to misuse those instruments. Allow political parties to organize. I saw somebody from DCP, right? They hear Gachagua, rigathigachagua, the next thing is tear gas, throw him, don't allow him to address the... Honestly, it is not possible in a democracy to deny people the right to speak, the right to go to church. Even in churches, some of us are in church, they throw tear gas in the church. They beat you up. I want to urge the Kenyans, let us pray that this culture of violence, state-sponsored, where the police also distribute rungus to goons. I think that I like very much what the Law Society is doing. Some Law Society sponsored a motion or something in Parliament to make it impossible for leaders who believe in goonism never to be elected. Because how will the young people then grow up? The unfortunate thing, it is the young people who are given those rungus to beat up their fellow youths because they don't belong to the same political belief system. You beat each other, senseless, you kill each other, you maim each other. And then the state will say, we'll compensate you. We'll kill you, then compensate you. My honest submission is let there be a blanket admission by this administration that they wrongfully detained, they wrongfully maimed, they destroyed people's property and blamed it on other wrong people, that there must be a blanket apology to the Kenyan nation. That would be something. But you cannot just, compensation without justice is not compensation. Honestly. There must be justice and demonstrable ability to say sorry. You're not a fool when you say, I'm sorry. Or when you say, please. Just to say, please. And sorry. In fact, the greatest leaders are those like Mwalimu Nyerere, who stood up and said, I am sorry, I introduced Ujamaa a kind of socialization. It didn't seem to work. I'm sorry, Tanzanians. We need leaders who are able to say sorry because they are not angels. Nobody is an angel. So I must conclude, ladies and gentlemen, by encouraging you and telling you, mbele iko sawa. But before it is sawa, we must do what we must do. And I tell you, the biggest thing is our constitution. With that constitution, unless it is overthrown, this country will now grow up with you guys looking at you. Even in fact, you're able to sit like this from Wiper Patriotic Front, from UDA, from Jubilee, from everywhere. And you're able to sit like this. Go tell your leaders, tolerate each other as well. I'll tell them myself, I'm never afraid of them. I tell them. Because I know each one of them. And much as I acknowledge my own weaknesses, I know the terrible weaknesses on the part of some of our leaders. They do the opposite of what they say. They tell you, double-faced people. They tell you, hey, we're going to rid this country of corruption, and go and immediately the next thing is any procurement. Devolution, they say we're devolution. They don't believe in it. But let us be careful not to devolve corruption. It's already done. It's been devolved as well. We must really, there's a lot of work to you guys to do. The governance structures, even the youth council, interparty council, must also try to bring up, in my view, my honest advice, some structures, governance structures, that will continue to say no. And you see, for now, we must continue to call out to this regime and to tell them it is not to be business as usual. This revolution is ongoing. And it will come to its fruition at the ballot box in 2027. And nobody can do anything about it. So we are just telling IBC as well not to be partisan. We are watching. They already procured materials. I must tell you this. They've already, even before the new Ruto Commission came into place, the CEO of IBC, they may have told you this, have already procured materials for 2027 election in the absence of the commission. This is how bad things can become. Will you believe that? It is true. So that they will have eaten before the commission comes in. This is the truth. This is a tragedy of our country. Therefore, young people, your future is here. May God bless you. Mbele iko sawa. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well done.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for your wonderful remarks. I have taken with me sorry about that. One of my biggest takeaways from your remarks, Your Excellency, is the need for Inter-Parties Youth Forum to improve. We have been doing it, creation of structures of governance, and especially when it comes to devolution, something I also stated in my opening remarks, that one of the things I don't see young people do enough is monitor what is happening at county governments, and that is where the hemorrhage is happening. That is where the theft is predominant. So I think we're going to work on that as well. Creation or bolstering of strong institutions across the board, and also the need for tolerance of our leaders across the political divide. If the Inter-Parties Youth Forum is able, and we've done remarkably in bringing divergent opinions, and I suppose that is why polarization is close to what we are trying to achieve as the Inter-Parties Youth Forum. Tolerance is a great aspect of what we have been doing, and we've really tried, and we'll continue to do that and preach the same to our leaders. We are about to go to the first panel session, but before we do go to the panel session, where we'll be talking about unpacking polarization, radicalization, and ethnic politicization, I would like to introduce Mheshimiwa Amisi to just come say hello, just give us a few remarks before we start our panel session. Karibu sana, Bwana Amisi.
So I'll just do that, introduce myself, and then I sit down. Because really, after the former Vice President has given us a very good speech on the youth agenda, I don't really have much to add on that. And sorry for coming late. I was held up somewhere. I'm rarely late for such youth meeting. So just an introduction. My name is Caleb Amisi, Luyai, MP for Saboti, serving second term. Saboti is in Trans Nzoia, Kitale. And those people are very lethal to the government, the current government. So if you are here and you're in the government, I'm not your friend. So be ready to challenge me. I'm just here to also, I think I've been in so many of these youth advocacy meetings until I've exhausted. I just need to listen to you and let's have a conversation. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause for Honorable Amisi. So now we're going to go to our next session. I'm hoping we can have this moved. As they move it, Your Excellency, I wanted to make a formal request for the Inter-Parties Youth Forum. Is it possible for us to visit the next president's office and visit, for the Inter-Parties Youth Forum to pay the next president a visit, a formal visit soon, and deliberate? Thank you so much. Okay, sawa, sawa. Now, I'm going to welcome Maureen Wanyonyi, who is the facilitator and moderator for this session. With us today, we have Chibeka Matara, the National Youth League leader for KANU. Round of applause for Chibeka. We have Eugene Githu from the Democratic Party. He serves as the chairman of the National Youth League. We have the director of programs from the Center for Multi-Party Democracy, Mr. Range Mwita, who is here with us. And Director Liban Guyo from the National Commission of Integration, the NCIC, sorry. A round of applause for Mr. Liban. I'll leave it to Maureen. Thank you. I am informed that Honorable Amisi will also be joining us for this panel session. I am so sorry I forgot to mention Bwana Amisi. Please join us. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. My name is Maureen Wanyonyi. I'll be the moderator for this panel. I have been privileged to serve in the capacity of convening political parties before. I'm also an alumni of the Interparty Youth Forum. I have been able to serve in several capacities supporting governance and young people, so I believe I will be able to dispense this discourse. So karibuni sana to this panel.
My name is Captain Kongo Muigai. I'm the chairman of the Kenya Cultural Center and also the patron of the National Council of Elders.